Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. I really appreciate Ms. Contino for allowing me to come in today and share this message with you. So as you can see, I'm the guest speaker for today. Really grateful to be here with you guys to share this presentation. And before I begin, let's set up a system in which you can give constant feedback throughout this presentation. Let's do this. Whenever I say holler if you hear me, if at that moment you're understanding and agreeing with what I'm saying, then please yell back at me something like yes, or yeah, or holler, or anything of that nature, a lot of energy and enthusiasm. Let's test this out. Holler if you hear me. Excellent, excellent. Now I like to start this presentation by sharing with you the story. I heard this story told by the speaker T.D. Jakes about a little boy out in the Midwest who wanted to see an eagle fly. So he gets a pair of binoculars and he goes out to a large open field and he's watching, and finally he spots an eagle. And the eagle is flying higher and higher and higher. And all of a sudden the eagle stops in midair. And he begins to fall and flap and fall and flap and fall and flap. Finally it disappears out of sight. And the little boy says to himself, what happened to the eagle? Did someone shoot the eagle? I didn't hear a gun. And the little boy walked for about a mile in order to find where the eagle had landed. And finally he found the eagle. The eagle is laid down, nose in the dirt. The eagle is dead. And the little boy says to himself, what killed the eagle? The little boy turns the eagle over, and there, affixed to the eagle's chest, is a weasel, a little animal. And the weasel has bitten into the heart of the eagle. And the little boy says to himself, now I see what happened to the eagle. The eagle had picked up a weasel and did not let it go. And that's very symbolic to our lives. Because every single day of our lives, we pick up weasels. And weasels come in many different forms. There are weasels in the form of negative thoughts, weasels in the form of unhealthy addictions, weasels in the form of fears and worries and stress and frustration and anger and insecurities. We all pick up weasels. And if we don't drop the weasel will drop us. Holler, you hear me? Yes. Drop the weasels. Let go of the weasels. Let go of things that are trying to eat at you. Let go of things that are trying to separate you from your source of peace and joy. Let them go. Because either you drop them or they will drop you. And I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. Because in this presentation, I'm going to share with you some tips that we all can use to drop the weasels and fly like an eagle. And as you listen to this presentation, whenever you hear a quote that you like, please write it down on your piece of paper labeled notes. That's very important, because towards the end of this presentation, we're going to do an activity, and each person will need to have a list of their favorite quotes written down on their notes piece of paper. Now, I'd like to share with you, so make sure you take your one piece of paper, tear it in half, and label one piece notes, other piece feedback, right? Because your notes is what you're going to keep, and then your feedback you're going to turn in. And I'll explain to you what to write on your feedback piece of paper later. But, so you want to take that one piece of paper, tear it in half, label one piece of notes, other piece of feedback, and it can be torn the long way or the short way, it doesn't matter. Probably hamburger style, but it really doesn't matter.
I don't know the difference, I'm going to be honest with you.
And so now I'd like to share with you something very personal. I used to be very embarrassed about this, but no longer am I embarrassed about it, so I want to share it with you. You see, although I am a professional, right, graduated from college with a degree in accounting and became CPA, a certified public accountant, although I am a professional, I'm still in the process of overcoming reading challenges. I had severe reading problems when I was growing up. And although things have improved, I'm still in the process of overcoming those reading challenges. Now, I'm not embarrassed to admit it, because I realize that in order to overcome a problem, we must embrace the struggle. Holler if you hear me. Yeah. So I embrace my struggles, and I realize that it's okay if some people look down on me. It's okay if some people think of me as being a little slow or dumb. It's okay, because I realize now that other people's opinions of me do not have to become my reality. I realize that my value as a human being always stays the same, regardless of how other people treat me. To really make this point clear, let me share with you this illustration. How much is this worth? $1. But what if I take this dollar bill and crumble it up and throw it on the floor and stomp on it? How much is it worth now? It's still worth $1. Regardless of how I just treated this dollar bill, its value stayed the same. I crumbled it up, I threw it on the floor, I stomped on it, I put dirt on it, but yet its value stayed the same. The same thing goes with you, me, and all of the human beings. Regardless of how other people treat us, regardless of what other people think about us, or say about us, or do to us, regardless of whatever happens to us in our lives, our value stays the same, because our value is something that the world did not give to us, and so therefore it's something the world cannot take away. Holler if you hear me. Yeah. It's amazing how just by changing our perspective, our whole life changes. Even a small shift in our perspective makes a huge change in our life. To really make this point clear, let's do this group activity. This will blow your mind. This will blow your mind. Everyone, please take your right index finger and point it straight up towards the ceiling. It has to be above your head. Above your head. Now, look up at the ceiling and imagine that on the ceiling there's a clock face. Now, rotate your finger in a clockwise motion. Go clockwise. Clockwise motion. Clockwise motion. Now, continue that same motion, but now bring your arm down, all the way down, all the way down, so it's below your chin. So you're looking down at your finger now. And realize now, you're no longer going clockwise. You're now going counterclockwise, aren't you? Isn't that cool? Let's try that again. Clockwise motion, but it has to be up, where you're looking up at it. Clockwise motion. Oh, shit. And now bring your arm all the way down, so you're looking down at it, and realize now you're going counterclockwise. So somebody tell me, our finger did not change? The motion of our finger did not change. What was the only thing that changed? Our perspective. And whenever we change our perspective, our whole life changes. So here's the message. Here's the lesson. Here's the point. Whenever you are feeling depressed about anything, always ask yourself, what else can this mean? What else can this mean? What's another perspective in which I can view this situation? What's another way in which I can look at this circumstance? What else can this mean? I guarantee you, asking yourself that question is a very useful tool that can help us to rise above depression whenever we're feeling depressed. It's a very useful tool that can help us to manage our emotions well. Whenever you are feeling depressed about anything, always ask yourself, what else can this mean? Is this the end, or is this the beginning? It's all a matter of perspective. Am I being punished, or am I being rewarded? It's all a matter of perspective. Is this a problem, or is this a personal development exercise that is designed to prepare me to achieve my purpose and my destiny in life? It's all a matter of perspective. Holler if you hear me. Yes, problems are just personal development exercises that are designed to prepare us to achieve our purpose and our destiny in life. You know, as I think back over my childhood, in a way, I'm grateful for my bullies, because I realized that they strengthened me and they prepared me to achieve my purpose and my destiny in life. The emotional abuse that they put me through was really a gift. It tore me down for a moment, but over time it built me up like gold, purified through fire. Holler if you hear me. To really make this point clear, let me share with you this story. It's a story about a water carrier who had 2 large pots. Each hung on the ends of a pole, which he carried across his neck. One of the pots had a crack in it, while the other pot was perfect. Each day, at the end of the long walk from the water stream back to the house, the perfect pot always delivered a full portion of water. But the broken pot always delivered only half a pot of water, because the other half of its water would always leak out through the crack that was in its side, all the way back to the house. And this continued on for years. And of course, the perfect pot felt proud of itself. It felt like a high achiever, it felt successful, had very high self-esteem, it felt good about itself. But the broken pot felt ashamed of itself and felt miserable. And one day by the water stream, the broken pot spoke out to the water carrier and said, I'm ashamed of myself, because this crack in my side, it causes water to leak out all the way back to your house. I'm no good, I'm inferior, I've been broken. I've been broken by some things that have happened to me in the past. You see, I've been through some bad experiences that have hurt me so much, and now I have all these insecurities, I have all of these issues that are holding me down and holding me back, and I'll never be able to succeed. I'm sick, and I'll never be made well. So you should just destroy me, because my life has no meaning and no purpose. And then the water carrier responded to the broken pot and said, did you notice that there were flowers only along your side of the path and not along the other pot's side? That is because I've always known about your flaw. And I planted flower seeds all along your side of the path. And each day as we walk back from the water stream, the water that leaks out through the crack in your side waters these flowers. And for years now, I've been able to pick these beautiful flowers to make the world a more beautiful place. Without you being just the way you are, there would not be this beauty to grace the world. I love that story because it's a reminder to me that even the cracks in my life are there for a reason. Even the cracks in my life, even the flaws, the imperfections, the challenges, the struggles, the obstacles, the frustration, the confusion, the insecurities, even the cracks in my life are there for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. Although often we don't understand what that reason is as we're going through the process. But one day we will be able to look back and clearly understand that it was all part of a beautiful plan. One day we will be able to look back and see the bigger picture. And there's always a bigger picture. There's always a bigger picture. Everything that goes on in our life, it's all part of a bigger picture. But one of the most challenging things about life is that often we can't see the picture because we're standing in the frame. Holler if you hear me. Often in life, we can't see the picture because we're standing in the frame. But one day we will be able to look back and see the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is a beautiful picture. To really make this point clear, let me share with you another story. It's a story about a store owner who put a large sign on top of the front door of his store, and the sign read, "Puppies for sale." And almost immediately, a little boy comes into the store full of enthusiasm and asks, "How much are the puppies?" And the store owner replied, "Anywhere between $30 to $50 per puppy." The little boy dug deep into his pocket and pulled out $1.37. And he said, "All I have is $1.37, but can I see the puppies?" The store owner smiled and then whistled. And out from the kennel came a group of puppies running down the aisle of the store. But there was one puppy, though, that was lagging behind all the others because it was limping. It was limping. The little boy asked, "What's wrong with that puppy?" The store owner explained how the veterinarian had examined that puppy and had discovered that it was missing a hip socket. So it would always be lame. It would always limp. The little boy got excited and said, "That's the puppy that I want to buy." The store owner said, "No, you don't want to buy that puppy. That puppy limps. That puppy has issues. In fact, I plan to just give away that puppy for free because that puppy does not have value." So the little boy got upset and said, "That puppy is as valuable as all the other puppies. And I will pay you full price for that puppy. I'll give you $1.37 now, and I'll pay you 50 cents each week until that puppy is fully paid for." But again, the store owner expressed concern. He said, "I really don't think you're going to enjoy that puppy because that puppy can't run, and it can't jump, and it can't play with you like the other puppies can." And then at that moment, the little boy bent down and picked up his left pamphlet and showed the store owner his left leg, which was crippled. It was twisted. It was held together by a metal rod. And he says to the store owner, "I can't run well myself either. And that puppy needs someone who can understand." I love that story because it's a reminder to me that imperfect is perfect. Imperfect is perfect. Our imperfections make us humble. Our imperfections make us relatable. Our imperfections make us compassionate. Our imperfections give us a unique ability to add a special value to the world. Imperfect is perfect. We are perfect just the way we are. Now, of course, we have to continue to learn and grow so that we can become the best versions of ourselves. But at every stage in our development, we are perfect just the way we are. Imperfect is perfect. See, this is a message that really touches me. And it's a message that's very important to me because I have to constantly remind myself of that. Because There's certain flaws in my life that I often feel insecure about. And I have to constantly remind myself that imperfect is perfect. I have to constantly remind myself that it's okay. I have to constantly remind myself that I can truly love the life I have as I build the life I want. I don't have to wait to be happy. I don't have to wait until certain issues get resolved in order to feel happy. I can feel happy along the way. I don't have to achieve in order to be happy. I can happily achieve. Holler if you hear me. Yeah. I can enjoy the process. You know, I realize that there is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. Holler if you hear me. Yeah. There is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. We can truly be content without being complacent. In other words, we can truly embrace where we are right now and feel good about our lives. We can feel good about everything that's going on in our lives right now, and at the same time, we can be fully motivated to make improvements. We can be content without being complacent. We can love the life we have as we build the life we want. And it really comes down to this belief that we have to remind ourselves of. We have to remind ourselves that everything happens for a reason. Although often we don't understand what that reason is, but one day we will be able to look back and clearly see that it was all part of a good plan. To really make this point clear, I'd like to share with you this story. This is a true story. There was a lady running late for work one morning, all because of her daughter taking too long to get ready for school. But when she arrived at work that morning, she realized on this particular morning it was a very good thing that she arrived late to work. Because this morning was Tuesday morning, September the 11th, 2001, and this lady worked in the World Trade Center. If it had not been for her daughter who made her late for work, she would have been in the building when the plane hits. It's amazing how really our problems are really blessings in disguise. Holler if you hear me. Yeah. So let's not complain about anything, because really our problems can bless our lives in ways that we don't even understand. Now let me share with you a very personal story. When I was in high school, for a while during my high school years, I became depressed. And the reason why I became so sad was because there was this girl who I liked who did not like me back. It really broke my heart. I felt as though she was my soulmate. I felt like we were made for each other. In fact, every time I'd see her in the hallways, I would feel a little hypnotized. You know that feeling you get when you see someone that you have a crush on? It's like that high feeling. You know what I'm talking about? That high feeling? That's what I felt. I felt that high feeling. Every time I'd see her in the hallways, I felt that high feeling. And that high feeling was so intense, the physical attraction was so strong that I thought it was a sign that this was true love. I thought that we were made for each other. And so when she rejected me, I felt as though my heart split in half. And I became very disappointed. But an interesting thing happened. As time went by, as I grew older and more mature, I began to look back over that experience, and I began to see something that I never saw previously. See, it wasn't until later on in my life, as I was looking back over my teenage years, that I began to realize that when I was a teenager, I was very immature. And if I would have gotten into a relationship with that girl at that time, because of my immaturity, I would have ended up making some bad decisions. I would have ended up giving in to certain temptations. I would have ended up making some bad choices that would have caused a lot of pain in my life. The same pain I see going on in the lives of a lot of people. It's interesting how at the time I was so very heartbroken and disappointed. But now as I look back over that experience, I realized that her rejection was really a blessing in disguise. Because you see, this particular girl, she was involved with some very unhealthy things like drugs and alcohol. And I was aware of it, but I overlooked it because I was so very infatuated with her. I was so very physically attracted to her that I overlooked the fact that she was involved with these unhealthy things. I overlooked the fact that she had these unhealthy habits going on in her life. It's interesting how physical attraction can cause us to overlook many things in our lives. Physical attraction clouds judgment. Holler if you hear me. Physical attraction clouds judgment. It's amazing how when we become very physically attracted to someone, our judgment can get very cloudy. So we have to be very careful. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. Because often in life, the things that look good to us are not good for us. Holler if you hear me.
Yep.
Very often in our lives, the things that look good to us are not good for us. Things are not always what they seem to be. In fact, many times, even poison is wrapped in beautiful wrapping paper. So please always remember this. Do not follow your heart, lead your heart. Do not follow your heart, lead your heart. And what I mean by that is do not blindly follow your heart. Of course you want to follow your goals and your passion and your calling and your purpose and your dream in life, but do not blindly follow your heart. Because there are times in life in which even your own heart will try to lead you down the wrong path. There are times in life in which even your own heart will try to deceive you. In other words, do not live your life based on your emotions. Live your life based on your principles, wise principles. Because have you noticed your emotions are not steady? Your emotions are not reliable. In fact, in many situations, your emotions can get you into a lot of trouble. Holler if you hear me.
Yes.
So do not live your life based on your emotions. Live your life based on your principles, wise principles. You know, over the years, I've come to realize that just because you become very physically attracted to someone doesn't necessarily mean that they're a good fit for you. Also, I've come to realize that a relationship that is based solely on romantic feelings and physical attraction will last only as long as the feelings last. Holler if you hear me. Right? There has to be a deeper connection. We have to see beyond the shell, which is difficult, right? Because we're so very visual. It's hard for us to see beyond the physical shell. But we have to look beyond the shell to the inner heart. You know, I remember when I was in college, for a semester or two, I worked part-time at the Disability Support Center. And my job was to assist students who had physical disabilities. And I remember one of the students I assisted was a blind girl. She was blind and also she had like some mental issues. And as I got to know her, I started to realize that she faced a lot of social rejection. And I really related to her because I know what it's like to be rejected. I know what it's like to not fit in. I know what it's like to have these social issues. And of course, I realized that she was facing these issues on a much more intense scale than anything I've ever imagined or experienced. But nevertheless, I could relate to her. And I remember it was November and Thanksgiving was coming up, and I realized that she didn't have a place to go for Thanksgiving. And so I invited her to have Thanksgiving with my family. And she came and she had fun, and she felt loved by my family. And at the end of the night, she turned to me and she said something to me that I'll never forget. She said, "Lance, you are so beautiful." And those words really touched me because I had struggled a lot with insecurities regarding my physical appearance because of my acne and everything, social anxiety. I struggled a lot with a lot of insecurities. And so for this girl to call me beautiful, for this blind girl to call me beautiful, it really touched me because it showed me that true beauty has nothing to do with our physical appearance. True beauty has everything to do with our kindness and our love and our compassion. Beauty is what beauty does. Holler if you hear me. Beauty is what beauty does. And I know that sounds very cliche, but it really touched me. It's very profound because it really showed me that I can feel beautiful whenever I do beautiful things. We can feel beautiful whenever we do beautiful things. And it showed me that whenever I try to reach out and try to encourage someone or be kind or compassionate or loving towards someone, it showed me that those emotions always come back to me multiplied. It's amazing how whatever you give to others always comes back to you multiplied. And so it's interesting whenever we are feeling down, the secret to rising is searching for a way, trying to figure out a way to uplift other people. Because have you noticed this? Whenever you try to uplift others, your own mood automatically rises. In other words, we rise by lifting others. Holler, can you hear me? Yes. We rise by lifting others. The emotions we give to others always come back to us multiplied. And so I realized that I don't have to rely on other people to validate me. I don't have to live for other people's approval. In fact, have you noticed, if you live for other people's approval, you will die by their rejection. Holler, you hear me? If you live for other people's approval, you will die by their rejection. We don't have to live for other people's approval. We can focus on giving the emotions that we want to feel. And that's why the gift of giving is better than a gift received. Because whenever we give, whatever we give to others always comes back to us multiplied. We rise by lifting others. You know, I think about when I was growing up, I tried to play various sports. Basketball, football, track. And I was terrible at all of them. And although many of the spectators would look down on me and or feel sorry for me, I never felt embarrassed or ashamed. Because among all the spectators, there was one spectator, my dad, who was always in the stands watching and sincerely happy to see that I was doing my best. You see, over and over and over again, Dad taught me the concept that as long as you have done your best, then you have won. So despite the lack of sincere encouragement from team members and other spectators, I remain encouraged and inspired and motivated, enthusiastic about getting on the playing field and doing my best. You see, Dad instilled within me an unshakable courage to try. And that courage to try has helped me to go much further than I ever thought I could go. I was labeled a slow learner when I was in school. But yet I kept studying and I became a professional. I was picked on by bullies, but I kept feeding my faith, and over time those experiences started to build me up rather than tear me down. I was considered to be ugly when I was a teenager because of all the pimples I had. Right? Severe case of acne all over my face as well as my back. I was considered to be ugly, but I kept admiring my inner beauty. I kept appreciating my inner beauty. And over time I began to realize that it really doesn't matter what other people call you. What really matters is what you call yourself. What other people think about you is not important. But what you think about yourself means everything. Because think about this. Technically, other people's words can never harm you. Technically, other people's words can never harm you. But it's your own words that can kill you. Holler if you hear me. Yes. Other people's words can never harm you. But it's your own words that can kill you. So really, it's your own words, your own thoughts that you have to really guard and protect. It's your own words, your own thoughts that you have to really watch out for. Because other people's words, other people's thoughts can never harm you. But it's your own words, your own thoughts that can kill you. You know, there's an old African saying that goes, if there is no enemy on the inside, then the enemies on the outside cannot harm you. I love that. If there is no enemy on the inside, then the enemies on the outside cannot harm you. So therefore, as long as we maintain positive, healthy emotions on the inside, then the negativity that surrounds us cannot touch us. So I know that Dad's legacy will always be in my heart. And wherever I go, wherever I am, I know that Dad is always in the stands. And Dad's legacy is very similar to a quote by Theodore Roosevelt. Theodore Roosevelt once said, "It is not the critic who counts, nor the man who points out how the strong man stumbled, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes short again and again, who knows the great enthusiasms, great devotions, and spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst at least fails while daring greatly, so that he shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat." I love that quote. Because it's a reminder to me that my victory has already been won. I'm already successful. I became successful the moment that I decided to get into the arena and do my best. As Rocky Balboa said in the movie Rocky, I just want to go the distance. And if you remember, in Rocky Part 1, Rocky did not win, but he went the distance. And he proved that real success is not about winning. Real success is about having the courage to try. Having the courage to get into the arena. Having the courage to step outside of your comfort zone. You see, the walls of your comfort zone, they make you feel safe, but really those same walls are separating you from your dream. In order to achieve your dream in life, you must have the courage to step outside of your comfort zone. Never be afraid of failure. Never be afraid of failure. Because really, failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of the pathway to success. Holler if you hear me. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of the pathway to success. To really make this point clear, let me share with you this song. Check out this song. Check out this song. Check out this song.
It's disgusting.
Peanut butter? No, what you drinking that?
Check out this song.
Why do you want peanut butter?
Why doesn't it's first of all, it's him. It's like a lunch spot.
Come on, Charles, pay attention. Get off your phone.
Why did you stick both fingers in your skull?
Michael Jordan once said, I failed over and over and over again, and that is why I have succeeded. I love that quote because I realized what I learned in my valleys helps me get to my mountaintops. In fact, I wouldn't be at this mountaintop if I didn't have my valleys. I wasn't popular at all when I was in school. It was hard walking down the hall, felt like a fool. Kids could be so cruel when somebody's different. The guys call me names and the girls stay distant. I had a little stutter and I didn't learn fast. Butterflies in my stomach every day in class. I felt bad because I had love inside, but nobody took the time to ever know I was a nice guy. All the name calling tore me down, but I didn't know then it would mold me now. It doesn't kill you, build you, pound for pound. My endurance allows me to go round for round. And I'm the heavyweight now. See the passion in my eyes when you overcome pain. It's no surprise. Grateful for the bullies in my life. You know why? While they're trying to break me down, I was learning to survive.
Hey, 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 hey. Go, Key. Oh!
Wait, Fortnite. When I was young, I was horrible at sports, and the guys on my team thought that I was a dork. I admit I wasn't good, but I tried my best. That's all that really matters, so I didn't stress, because my dad was in the bleachers cheering me on. There's no bully in this world could ever do me harm. Even when the spectators were hated, I stayed strong. Had a real bond that helped me go on. When I messed up, I confess, I respect that. Everybody's going to make mistakes, so expect that. It's all about learning from the trips and the stumbles. Never get discouraged. Always stay humble. The only real losers never enter the arena. Criticize how you play, but in the game you never see them. I just want to do my best. And in my dad's eyes, won the race because I know how to survive. Now I have a question for you. How many of you saw me fall down? You saw me fall.
I saw you try.
You saw me fall down.
I saw you try.
Yes.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Yes. You saw, thank you.
He's good.
You saw me fall down, but also you saw how I immediately got back up again and continued dancing.
Still fell.
And that there is a very powerful illustration of a very profound life principle. In life, we all fall down from time to time. Because no one is perfect, right? In fact, as human beings, we each have our own unique set of flaws, imperfections, and weaknesses. Hallelujah, hear me?
Yeah.
Right? And have you noticed, some people have flaws that are more visible than others. And of course, some people have flaws that are more intense than others. But every single person has their own unique set of flaws, imperfections, and weaknesses. And so, therefore, as human beings, we all fall down from time to time. We all fall down, but only the winners keep getting back up again. Holler if you hear me. Only the winners realize that we can always start over again, no matter what has happened in the past. Now, of course, we do have to face the consequences of our behavior. And our behavior always has consequences. But it's never too late to start over again. It's never too late to press the reset button. Did you know that in life there is a reset button? Unfortunately, there is no rewind button and there is no redo button. But in life, there is a reset button. And it's never too late to press the reset button. It's never too late to start over again. The winners are those that realize that the past does not equal the future. Our biography does not have to become our destiny. And so therefore, we do not have to live in the past. In fact, it's very unhealthy to live in the past. Because if you live in the past, you die in the present. Holler if you hear me. If you live in the past, you die in the present. If you're holding on to the baggage of the past, you'll never be able to fully embrace the present moment. We must let go of the baggage of the past, but always hold on to the lessons that we've learned from the past. That's a very key point. Because good judgment comes from experience, and experience often comes from bad judgment. So as long as we always learn from our mistakes, even our mistakes become part of the process of our ultimate success. Holler if you hear me. Yeah. I get so excited because this material is so real. Let go of the baggage of the past, hold on to the lessons that you've learned, and move forward. Move forward. And every time you fall, pick up only the lesson and move forward. This is so very important because in life, all of us have to become one of three things: a potato, an egg, or a coffee bean. If you place a potato in the hot boiling water, the hot water will change the potato into becoming soft, right? If you place an egg in the hot boiling water, the hot water will change the inside of the egg into becoming hard, right? But if you place a coffee bean into hot boiling water, the hot water will not change the coffee bean. Rather, the coffee bean will change the hot water. So likewise, as we go through hot water in our lives, meaning as we go through problems and struggles and challenges and obstacles and disappointments and fears and worries and stress, as we go through hot water in our lives, we don't have to allow the hot water to change us into something hard and angry, nor soft and weak, but rather we can change the hot water into opportunities to learn and grow stronger. Because really every struggle, every challenge, every form of hot water is really an opportunity to learn and grow stronger. Because remember, our problems are just personal development exercises that are designed to prepare us to achieve our purpose and our destiny in life. Our problems are really blessings in disguise. You know, if I had to summarize this whole program into one sentence, it would be this: turn your problems into power by controlling the perspectives in which you view the situations of your life. If I had to summarize this whole program into one sentence, it would be: turn your problems into power by controlling the perspectives in which you view the situations of your life. Because you realize that it's never about the situation, it's always about your interpretation of the situation. It's not about what happened, it's about your perspective on what happened. Holler if you hear me. And so by controlling our perspectives, by controlling our interpretations of the situation and our perspectives and our interpretations of what happened, we can take what happened, we can take the adversity and turn it into our advantage. We can turn the problems into our power. We can turn the obstacles into our opportunities. Now, of course, these things are easier said than done, and that's why my next point is the most important point of all. Please always remember this. Always stay connected to the source of strength. Always stay connected to the source of strength. Now listen, I'm not here trying to tell you what to believe spiritually, but I am here trying to tell you this. Always stay connected to the source of strength. Always take time to do things that will strengthen your values and your faith and your beliefs. Because connected to the source of strength, you will have the power to drop the weasels and fly like an eagle. Holler if you hear me. Yeah. Everyone, please take a look. Take a look at your list of quotes on your notes piece of paper.
Yeet.
Take a look at your list of quotes. I'd like to ask you for a huge favor. Will you promise that you'll share at least one of your favorite quotes with your friends and your family today? Will you promise that? Because you never know how much of a difference just one positive thought can have on a person's life, right? Also, it's so true. Whenever we try to encourage others, our mood automatically rises. We rise by lifting others. And we all have people in our lives, right, who struggle with discouragement, just like we struggle with discouragement. Holler if you hear me. And it's amazing how if we become very proactive in trying to encourage other people around us, more encouragement will come into our lives. It's so true. So please do share that. Also, please write down my name, Claysmile, Claysmile, on your notes piece of paper. Please write down my name, Claysmile. Because what I'd like you to do too is, if you've enjoyed this presentation, please go to YouTube and keyword search Claysmile. Because on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, you can watch videos of my motivational presentation, you know? Right? So check it out. Also on social media, if you have a social media
Like and
account,
subscribe.
please post at least one of your favorite quotes on social media, and please use the hashtag Claysmile. Hashtag Claysmile. So that when people search, they will see all the different quotes from all the different schools. You know? So that's awesome. So now hold on to your notes piece of paper. Now everyone, please take out your feedback piece of paper. Feedback. So I'd like for you to respond to this one question that you're going to turn in class. Now, you don't have to put your name on your feedback piece of paper, but please put your age and your gender. Your age and gender. Male or female.
I'm non-gender.
And here's what I'd like you to do.
I'm gonna potty attack.
So now here's the thing. Here's what I'd like you to do. Can you respond to this one question? And please explain your answer though. Here it is. Was this presentation useful to you personally? And please explain your answer. Was this presentation useful to you personally? And please explain your answer. Meaning, was this presentation valuable to you? Did it inspire you? Did it encourage you? Did it reinforce any of your values? Did it teach you anything new? Was it valuable to you in any way? Did it uplift you in any way? Was this presentation useful to you? And please explain your answer. Let's just take about a minute or so.